Australia is providing more much-needed aid to Vanuatu as aftershocks continue to rattle the Pacific Island nation. Joining me live now is Carol Angir, the humanitarian lead at ActionAid Australia. Carol, thanks for your time. Your organisation there on the ground as we speak. Give us a sense of how things are in Vanuatu at the moment after that earthquake.
Things are still quite tough. From what I have heard from my colleagues a few minutes ago, the communities and themselves still feel a bit traumatized. The thought hasn't got off their heads yet, but obviously after doing a rapid needs assessment with communities that are affected, the major issues coming out is, of course, distress, the fear. They even fear to go to closed buildings because they feel that it may happen again and the buildings may collapse on them. There's also need for food. Food security is a big issue. They still have just limited stock of what they had kept in their homes. There's in some places, there's lack of access to clean and safe water because their major water sources were interrupted and broken off. So they, in a place called Melamed, for example, they cannot access clean and safe water. And so they are asking, can you also please organize for us water? Shelter is a big issue. So there's on the way to the airport where the bridge, there's a crack in the middle of the bridge. There are communities that have come from their homes and are living outside, staying outside there. So during the day, they go and look at their homes, and at night they come, cook together there, eat and sleep out in the cold. So there is need to support, food security, water, long-time livelihood recovery, actually, because most of these people work in the city, and most of those buildings where they work are collapsed, and it will take time to rebuild those businesses back. And so they need to be supported to have some economic security, because this is what will lead to tensions at home. It will lead to domestic violence when the woman cannot put food on the table and the partner and the children are both distressed. And so the communities we work with, which is specifically women with disabilities, have also mentioned to us that some of them prior to this did not have assistive devices, but some of the assistive devices, like wheelchairs and all that, have been destroyed in this disaster. Healthcare is also proving to be a major issue. There are people who've got bruises and all that, and they cannot reach the hospitals. The government has put in place facilities that they can go to, but transport is a major issue because they cannot move from point A to B. And so they need that healthcare. So in terms of health, need for psychosocial support to deal with trauma. Also, they need immediate first aid, like medical care, to deal with the bruises that they attained during this moment when they were either moving away from their houses or they were moving away their things. Carol,
I've seen reports that there are potentially around 20,000 people on the island unable to access clean water. We know how dangerous that can get. Is that the number one priority, do you think? What can the Australian side do in actually trying to fix that as an issue?
Water issue, we need to do immediate water relief. So that means that we need make sure that the communities access clean and safe water immediately, whether it is water bottles and whether it is water tankers distributing water in jerry cans or water tanks near to where the people are. You cannot do without water. I was without water when this happened for about 24 hours. It is hot, you're sweating, there's nothing you can do. So I want us to imagine if there's a woman who has children or has given birth and needs this water, how they would be feeling. If the woman needs to put food on the table, what would they be doing? And so the other thing that is coming out clearly is light. So solar power is needed. We need to support the community who have lost electricity to access some form of light. Now, there are cracks on the ground. It means that if they're walking to even go to the toilets or moving from point A to B in darkness, they can equally get hurt in the process. So that's a big protection issue that we need to address, and we support them to have. And we are promoting affordable and clean energy, which is solar power, which if Australians would support would be great. We are working with women with disability and vulnerable women and persons with disability. So single women, widowed women, those who are alone and have to survive on low income. And that is what they're telling us. We have talked with them firsthand, and this is what we need. And persons with disability actually need to be supported with assistive devices because for them to recover, they are really traumatized and some of them live in hard situations. That's why we chose to work with them, because we take solidarity with the poorest and we need to support them. We need to see how we can get assistive devices for them. We need to give them food packs to survive the next few weeks, and healthy food for that matter. And then as they define their long-term livelihood programs. So as ActionAid, we would want to work with the women and communities to be able to define livelihood alternatives that would help them recover quicker, and livelihood alternatives that work with them, because some of those jobs that they go to, they'll never ever go to them because those buildings are destroyed and the business owners may not be able to revive the businesses as soon as possible.
Such a difficult time, Carol. Thank you so much for your time and what you've been through and sharing some of your story today. And if you'd like to donate to ActionAid's efforts, you can do so on the website on your screen, vanuatu.actionaid.org.au. It's just 2 sleeps